Okay, here we go. Thank you guys for the reminders for the recording. Let's go ahead and dive in. I'm pretty sure we'll be in and out in about an hour. It's a good time, good period of time for me to rest my ears. Usually an hour, 50 minutes to an hour is I need to break my ears. I need a break from to hear correctly. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Maybe you guys can give me the thumbs up if you can hear this. All right, cool. All right, good. So we're good to go. Now, a few of you guys I know have already watched the first episode, but if you haven't, I'm just going to do a quick little recap on um, just some of the things that I make sure that I'm putting into this song. And if you're doing one for the album that we do every month, then make sure you kind of follow a lot of these kind of guidelines. Definitely the form. The form is probably going to be a big one. I don't know if we've really done much A, B, C, A forms before, but this will be one, and hopefully it kind of makes a bit of sense. You can kind of see how it steps up as we play. The A section is the starting section, but it's also kind of what we finish on. Sometimes I might add an extra couple of things to that last A, or maybe even take out some things. And then from the A, we go to the B, which is one step up. And I think in this track, we have some hats or um, I think we have some hats or some sort of percussion thing starting. Then in the C, I think we have some more strings that start and some more movement stuff. And then we go back to the A section. And if you do a deep dive on this song, there's actually kind of like an A and then an A point, like 8.1 kind of thing. And then there's kind of like a B and there's a B.1 and then there's a C. So it's actually kind of broken into actually miniature form parts as well, just because it needed it. And you just got to always, see how it's flowing. And if it feels like it's getting repetitive, throw another element in there, whether it's just some change up on something. And I'm always kind of doing that because you really don't want your music to sound looped. You want it to kind of always be moving. And sometimes that's every 2 measures, sometimes every 4 measures, sometimes it's every, yeah, usually maybe the earliest is 2 measures. That'll change something. And when I did this kick pattern, I think I did a kick, snare, and then I did a kick, kick. So I did an added one extra kick to the rhythm just to give it that extra feel. Piano or softer guitars. I know there's a few piano players in the house here, so it's going to be an easy one for you guys, and you guys can go to town on this. And there's a yeah, so I'll come back to that. So you can do acoustic guitars or electric guitars if you want as well. Faster tempo, but the kick and snare played as cut time or half time. That really gives it a different feel when we do it like this. We've done other songs before where it's like majestic beauties or really soft or heartfelt kind of things. This is where it's really going to be a lot different, and especially have coming in with uh, the affected elements. So abstract beat sounds, affected strings, soft, heartfelt, building, and emotional. Those are the thoughts to be thinking when you're playing it, when you're recording your parts. Now, let me I've, let me make sure I've got my samples ready because I am going to be grabbing one of these samples. Is it favorite reverse cymbal that I've used in hundreds of songs? So I'm going to pop this in here. It's just a reverse cymbal I made a while ago, and I just love it. It feels so good. It sits so right, and it's always I really, really like it. So we're just gonna clean that up. And I'm gonna have that ready to go. So let's go ahead and play it from the top. Cool. I'm liking it. There's a few things I was hearing as I was going. We're definitely going to pop some reverse cymbals in there. Also, the volumes are a bit quiet, and I need to, as we get to more of the mixing stage and mastering. But everything feels good. Everything, I really like the parts. I do actually really like that viola. That's really nice. Uh, I really like that. And then I do like those omni strings as they're coming in. Um, I'm liking it a lot. And so I did change the one of the trash kits. You might have seen me do that where I felt like that was a little too harsh. So I'm just changing the volume a little bit, but that's actually volume and velocity, I believe. So I'm actually going to pull it down in the mixer on Easy Drummer. And I want that to sound even more trash. So I'm actually going to throw a distortion on it. Sound Toys has a really cool decapitator that I've used a lot. I really like this one. Just find a preset that works. And I'm also going to send it to delay because again, I don't want clear drums. And I don't know if I have a delay set up here, but let me go to my plate. I have a second plate here, but I'm actually going to change that to a delay. Oops. So I get rid of this plate and just put I like this H delay. Sometimes I just use these plugins that I know and they work and they're quick and we just keep moving. I like that. And then sometimes I'll be like something different. Let's play around for 10 minutes on a new sound. That is cool. I like that a lot. Without it, that's got a lot of cool rhythm. I like it straight away. I don't even know what settings it's on, but it works really well. I don't want to touch it. I want to see how it works in the whole song. Oh, and I'll send some of the other drums to that as well. So that's the jazz kit. Let me just make sure try that. I think I want that clean. I think I want that clean, and then I might affect this other one a bit more as well when it comes in. Yeah, a lot of low stuff happening. there might be a little bit too much energy in the low stuff. So we're gonna have to see how we go. I'll be watching now. I'm going to be, I know that's where the low stuff is happening. So I'm going to be probably coming back to that to see if it's too much in the mix. That could be the problem issue because there's a lot of low. You can actually just see it. A lot of energy up there. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. All right, and piano. So there's too much noise on the pedal, and the emotional piano has a deal with it. That's what it does, the pedal noise, and that's part of this sound. So sometimes it's a bit too much. All right, the piano's a bit too quiet for those drums when they come in. Still a lot of pedal noise. And I don't like that tapping thing. Thought I did, but I'm not sure about. See what else we've got. That could be cool. It's kind of like sounds like a bit crushed or something, but it's could be through that dream prop. That's a cool thing. You can change all these pieces once you start buying kits and stuff to to any of these drum kits. Like a Tune Track does it for Easy Drummer, and also Addictive Drums. You can start mixing and matching drum kits, which is really cool. I think I like that better. That sound might be a bit too loud or a bit too harsh. I'm just turning them all down a little bit in the velocity. But what happens when you turn down the velocity? It also changes the sample because they record the sample like 100 sometimes 127 times, so it actually changes the sound, and I don't like the sound as it gets lower. It's played different. So now in order to pull that down, I'm gonna have to go over to the instrument and find which one it is and pull the mix down a bit. find which one it is. That's a bit better. Now with this second piano that comes in, the Una Corda, which is really nice, soft piano. I'll play it for you. I probably do want it a little bit brighter because the other one's pretty mellow. So I'm going to see how that sounds in the mix. So I was just trying to find the frequency. It was way too much. There was too much stuff going on in that energy range. So I turned it up and it was like, yep, found it. It's that horrible stuff around there, whatever that is. What have we got? 342. And I just turned that down a little bit. Just throwing a low pass on it, or so should say high pass. I'm just getting rid of some of the lows. Yeah, there's a lot of warmth in that one, but I like it. So I might throw an EQ on that one. I'm going to copy this EQ. I'm just throwing an EQ on this one to get rid of that lows, because I want those kick to come in to be really thumping when it comes in. I'm turning up these strings because they're down really low and they shouldn't be that low. I'd like to have them a lot more higher volume going into my mix bus, which will be the strings over here. And that's at 0, so I could turn that. I'd rather have that turned down and have it going through the compressor and through that channel at a good volume. Otherwise, things get weird. It's way out of balance. It's really low here, and then nothing's coming through here, and then I have to boost it. It's like, hang on. So those channels are a bit too low. And I don't think the violas are going to come in till here. So let's go ahead and mute that. Oops. I might just mute them in here. Put a EQ, get rid of some lows out of that arpeggiated thing. And the viola, I'm going to add another viola, just by simply adding a harmony to this solo viola. All right, just something a little extra. Let's have a listen. As I said earlier, it's constantly building. It's constantly adding new parts. Constantly, I don't want it to loop. And just before I put those extra little harmony notes in, it sounded like it was looping a little bit too much to me. All right, cool. I'm going to add some of this reverse cymbal. Just want to find out where the crescendo is. Right there. Just put it on the grid, so now I can copy and paste it, move that around. Put a little bit of reverb on it. Send it to the reverb, I should say. Actually, I might even send it to a bit of that delay. See what that sounds like. And I feel like that actually came in too early, so I'm going to move it back a few measures. I don't want it to kind of come into it, and then I want it to sweep in a little bit faster. And that first one, I want it to be barely audible because it's not a big part of the song. I'm actually going to put it in, you'll hardly probably even hear it. This next one, I want to come in bigger. We'll put one just before it finishes. Let me just see. It looks like somebody's trying to get into the chat. I'm going to pause it for a second. Not pause it, but let me just send this link. So she can get in. Okay, so I want to do a fade here. Now, when we come to this Una, there's like this high tapping thing. It's kind of like the felt hitting or something. I actually going to do a automation on that. Always do your automations later on when you're pretty sure you got the right levels. And I'm pretty sure I got the right levels for this throughout the track. Let me just double check actually. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to put on the automation. I'm going to add volume. Well, then I'm just going to fade this out. So when it hits this very ending one, it's actually going to fade to nothing. You won't quite hear that as well at all as it fades right out. I love automation. It's so cool. All right, so we're missing some kicks here at the very end of each piece. It's like it doesn't even have an ending. So we find a symbol as well. It's kind of a cool symbol. I'm going to add that later on as well. It's like a ride or something. Oh, it's way back here. So I'm hearing a bit of that noise there that's on this thing. It's sticking out a bit too much for me. There's like noise I can hear that's in the background of that sound. I love the sound, but there's a bit of noise. I'm going to see if I can clean up some of that noise. If it has the I think that's what it is there. So it's this B sample or B I guess you'd call it an oscillator. There it is. That's great. All right, I just need a little bit more distortion, a little bit more unclarity on all of those strings and mostly those strings because they're really nice, but I want them a little bit more kind of, I guess, distorted or a little bit further back. I want them affected. I don't want them as clear as they are on these ones. I want that piano to be really kind of the most clear instrument. So we're just going to add an effects channel, and we're going to put I'm going to put the decapitator on it as well. And we'll find a setting in a minute. I'll radio voice. Well, I don't even know what that sounds like. We'll just distortion, and that's going to go to the mix. And we're going to send these strings to that distortion. And we're going to pull it right out. So you're not going to hear much of that distortion at all. It's not going to be like distortion where it's crazy. It's just going to be blended in there. So this is without it. Yeah, there's a little bit more noise on that. It's way too much, but it's a little bit more noise. That's what I wanted. Yeah, I'm liking that. So, all right, let's have a listen. I don't know if you guys got any questions. Um, Give my ears a break for a second. Pull up the chat. Hey, Lisa, glad you found it in. Good. What's the duration for each piece? So, great question. So these ones are anything over a minute and a half is good, is where you want to go for. I think this one, if you watch when you watch the first video, you'll see that I stretched it out a little bit because I want it to be over 130. The slower the feel of the song usually will end up going a bit longer because it kind of needs to. And when I say slower, we have it at 138, which is actually up tempo, considered, upbeat, but it's kind of been played at half time. So it's really kind of like 70 or 68 that we're at. So so that kind of gives it that feel. But yeah, usually a minute and a half is where we want to aim for, unless it's, 1.5 minutes is the minimal most of the time, and then 2 minutes sometimes. All right, so I'm just going to start heading into making sure everything's going through the mixing bus. let me delete a few of these channels that we don't need the. Now, if you're doing a lead version, you probably take out the strings off this one if you're doing a no melody version. We don't have bass here. We don't have acoustic guitar. So we can get rid of them. Distortion, drums, bass. Drum squash. We don't have squash bass drums. And mix strings. Yep, so there we go. So I did get an extra plugin recently. Again, it was on sale. I really like this company. Where is it? I'm going to put it on. It's really cool. I like this company here, Zorg, I think it is. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's called the True 252. I don't know much about this unit, but I guess it was a vintage unit. It actually sounds really good. Just putting it on like just one of the presets, and I don't even tweak anything, and I liked it straight away. Like a smooth master. I think it was like $39 or something like that, or it might have been 49. I got it for like 19 or something like that. And I like this company, Kazorg. They got some really cool coloration plugins, like plugins that you put on. It's like, man, that's cool. That's different. I haven't really heard that. It's almost like a little secret weapon, So if you're not on their email list, they send out, sometimes they do 15% off or 10% off or something like that. But I like this company. I used one that was just Smooth Master, I think it was. Maybe 2-track enhancer. That's cool. I think I like this one. Yep, just a little bit of an extra coloration. I like that. Let's see what we've got here. I still think those piano foot pedal or damper pedal is still a bit too loud. I'm doing here is that in my ears it sounds a little bit like it's starting to affect like uh, all these plugins are starting to work too hard, or it's starting to feel compressed. It's starting to feel a bit noisy. It's starting to feel a bit abrasive. And as I'm pulling up the levels, I'm listening for that because you don't. I just the way I mix and the way I master, I just don't want it abrasive. I want it to sound very musical and um we're not going on radio where we're fighting the loudness wars and we're trying to get it so loud where we're actually destroying the music. I'd rather have something that sounds really good that I really it's very pleasing to listen to. It's exactly like what we want. It's beautiful. It's a boundless beauty type instrumental cue. So that means we're not going to be pushing our levels too loud. And when we do get to a point where it's starting to push a bit too much, what can we do to kind of balance that out? And so one thing that I do sometimes is I'll look back and I when I'm pulling down this threshold, it's starting to work when it hits that. Whenever you see any of these colors going, it's going to start working. So this is -6 if it gets to up there. That will be way too much. But even if it's at -3 dB of gain reduction, that's a little bit too much for me. And so what you can actually do is turn down the frequencies or turn down the instruments. And I can already hear that it's the drums that's making this work. So if I mute these drums, you'll see that kind of coming off. So I just turned down the drums just a bit. So the culprit is this jazz kit. Okay, so that last, I can hear one note that's kind of a bit louder. I don't like, I want it to kind of be fading as we go out. That one. And what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to do a fade out on that as well, like an automation fade. Very gentle one. And you will hardly even know that it's going down. So what I'm doing there is just doing a gradual fade out. Not fade out, I shouldn't say. It's just a fade down. So we're only going down to -5. So we're going down by 5 dB. That's nice. And we'll do one at the beginning here. We'll fade. Not fade, I guess a cut here. Sometimes I hear when I'm listening to other people's music and auditioning songs for the publishing company I'm working with. Sometimes people I hear songs and it actually they start it right where it comes in, and it's almost like, and sometimes there's a clip or sometimes there's no, it just comes straight in. So always make sure that you put like here I believe we have like maybe a one and two and one, two, three, four. Maybe it looks like maybe a 16th, one E and two. So I've got a 16th beat. Mine comes in a 16th before the song starts. So if I hit play, it's a 16th that comes in just before. Always give it a bit more space. Even on a track like this, I could actually go to a maybe two 16ths or an eight as it comes in like that. I like that actually a little bit better. So I'm actually going to undo this and do an eighth. Just depending on the song, that's great. That's even better. But just make sure, always make sure you never, it's a mastering thing, never come right in on the actual beat. Always come in depending on how the song feels. Sometimes if it's a fast song, you can kind of come straight in on maybe a 16th. That I actually feel sounds better at an eighth instead of a 16th. And I'm hearing that note. It could be the sample, but now I'm hearing it a lot when it goes down to that E. It's a little bit too loud for my ears. It's like it hits a little too hard. That's bad. I'll just do it on that first one. But yeah, I think we're ready to bounce it down. Yeah, let's give it a name. Um, call it endless endless beauty. It will go very well with the title. When you're always bouncing down in the sync world, always make sure things are at 2448. The resolution is 24 and sample rate is 48 because then you can always sample down, but try never to sample up. And we're at 48 and go the highest one we can with the MP3, and we're good. There we go. So we're bouncing it down, Endless Beauty. I think I already have a title with that one. Anyway, so when you get so many, you have to double check your titles, and longer titles are a little bit safer as well. So, Lisa, good question. Will there be other samples to listen to? No, on this one, this is going to be the main one, so you can just kind of copy along. There's not too many elements you can get wrong with. We talked about earlier on, we talked about maybe you could do an acoustic guitar or an electric guitar, but piano is very easy to get clean and clear. And I just pretty much did, the chords I did was like an A minor, so I just did A, C, E, C, A, C, and did that. And then I just moved the bass hand down to a G, C, E, C, G, then I moved it down to an F. So I just moved one note and did the same kind of thing the whole time. So it's pretty easy. And I'm not a piano player. For other people like Jackie, you could go to town and make it really embellish it really nice and stuff. But you can kind of get away with just doing some simple stuff too. So when the due date is, it's going to be a month from now. So before the next live session with Steve, if you try and get in for the listening session, which is the week before. And then if there's any last tweaks, I can always help you with, any last tweaks on that one. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun one, and I really like that. It was fun. It was kind of peaceful to ride, and they need tons of them, and you just keep getting better. And some of the stuff you guys might see me do, where it's like I'm grabbing frequencies and moving things around. You you only learn that from just doing so many, and you're like, oh, too much of that. Oh, there's too much of that. And sometimes there are issues that you've battled with, like in mixes, like 100 songs ago, where it's like I always felt like that was in the way. And when I did that, it was like an aha moment. And then you do that again, and you're just like going back and you're doing the same kind of things that you do. And it's like you just making it clear and clear. And after a while, you find it's a lot of the same kind of things. And you guys have seen me, who've seen these videos over and over. I do a lot of the same things over again, but it's a different core song. So the actual mixing and the actual mastering are very, very I don't know. An example I use is like if you've got running shoes or something, you put the same shoe. You probably, if you analyze, you probably put the same foot on first, then you tie them up the same way. But guess what? You're probably running if you go outside, or if it's in good weather, you're probably running a different track, or it's a different day. So it's a bright and shiny one day, it's hot the next day, and so the details are different, but it's the same fundamental. It's the same a run as one foot in front of the other. So there's many of the different same things that we do all the time, and then we tweak it up a little bit as we feel. How many do you need from us? Three's great. If you can do three, if you want to do more, go for it. I would say do three and send them in, and then I can kind of critique, because you don't want to do 10 and then you're like way off and you're like, oh no, if I had known that, then you would have been like, I wouldn't have gone and spent so much time doing. So it's nice getting the corrections or the extra details, or sometimes people might send in a few and be like, that's great, but don't do any more with that sound. That you definitely change that sound in the next one, whatever. So three's great, and then if you got time to do more, that's fine. um, would you say minor keys or mix it up? It's a good question. I didn't really talk on this. This one I did kind of fall into a minor to an A minor kind of feel. But I think it could work too if you did do a major thing. I think it could work. If you're going to do a few, I would mix it up. If you're doing, like, if I did another one, I might maybe do a minor one or a may. I don't know. But if I did three, I'd probably I'd definitely make sure one of them was different to the other two. And so kind of mixing them up, always changing up, because one thing that down the track as you guys go, you're going to meet publishers, and publishers are going to say, give me 10 of them. And you're going to be like, you're actually going to be responsible for 10 of these for their album, and they're going to release that album under your name and under that thing, and you're going to do 10 of them. So you're going to have to start thinking, I have to start each one a little bit different. They can't all sound the same. I can't use the same piano sound every time. I can't use the same key every time. I can't use the same minor or major key all the time. So you're going to have to change it all up. So you've got 10 tracks that sound unique, but they still sound similar. But so that's something to always kind of think in the back of your mind. Yep. It's going to be fun. So yeah, either one, minor or major, see how you go. And but yeah, these are fun, and they're very simple too. So they're great ways to just keep building up your assets. And when you get to that 100-mile marker, when you're like, I have 100 original titles, that's definitely worth going out and having a nice meal, or getting a nice drink or something like that. It's hundreds of milestone, and then go for the next one, 250, and these all add up. That's what I did. I think I rewarded myself with a little instrument or something like that, or went out and bought something. But I always try to reward myself with something and be like, you did 100, and I'd tell my wife 100 times, I did 100, I did it. And then I'd go on to the next one, and you just keep building, because then you get better and better, and then you just popping these out. Like, it's so much fun, and it's really interesting, because kind of talking about that now, when I first started my trying to mix, the question is, why did I want to learn to mix and master, and why did I want to learn to do all this myself? It's because I love music so much. I want to figure out how to push all the buttons to make the sound I want. That was my whole goal. And so I want to be like, this is too bright. I'm going to do that and I know exactly what to do instead of being like, it's too, I don't know how yeah, and you have to rely on someone else to do that for you. It's hard to communicate, but if you know exactly the sound that you want and the effects and all that kind of stuff, that's the dream I had. And the more you do, the more you just, it's just happening and it's just flowing and it's like, it's really cool. But start counting, keep collecting those numbers and you're just going to get better and better and better and reward yourself when you get to 50 even maybe when you get to 50 titles and because that's how it works. So awesome, guys. Well, I know we've been chatting for a bit. Any final questions or any last questions before I let everyone go? No worries. Last thing I'll say too, Paul brought up a really good point. He loves these live sessions because you can set up your template, like copy my template. If you have some of the same kind of sounds, copy them and then save that template because you will get asked for something like a beautiful piano string kind of thing. You're like, got it. I got a template ready to go. And you can just start putting in the pieces. And so these are great ways to just save your templates. And if you don't have some of the same plugins, that doesn't matter. You don't have to go out and run out and spend $1,000 on all these plugins that I've got. Use Try and find out what is Steve going with this and use what you got. Is it a coloration thing? Is it just something to kind of, is it actually an EQ? I have an EQ, you don't have to buy my one. Sometimes it's easy if you don't have an EQ and you want to buy one and they go on sale, then get the one I've got because then you can copy exactly what I'm doing. You see exact, but you don't need to run out and buy all these plugins. These plugins took me years to accumulate. So yeah. Awesome, guys. I did make a template for every cue month. Excellent. Yep, excellent. Do it. And copy all my settings. It's totally okay. Copy them and put your own sounds through them and it'll sound different. So um, very cool. Awesome, guys. I'll let you all go. Have a great week. And I will see you next week for Upper's House. It's already April coming up. Well, not yet. So I forget I said that. We've got 2 more days, one more day, I guess. So awesome, guys. We'll see you.